Hi, Tile from Infidelity here. Today we're going to talk about just an astonishing little headphone, really. This is the Beyerdynamic DT350M headphone. It sells for about 59 bucks. It is a on-ear sealed headphone. Really not a lot to say to describe this headphone. It's inexpensive and plastic and reasonably looking, but it's not a stylish affair like a Beats headphone or something like that. But it sounds really good. It's very lightweight. As you can see, it's just all plastic construction. There's some logos on the side and on the top of the headband. It's got a 4-foot cable that's terminated in a 45-degree angle mini plug, which I really like. I like 45-degree angle mini plugs. It stops them from getting stressed too hard when you have it plugged in and you trip over the cable or something like that. The cable is a Y configuration and has a 1-button remote control on the right-hand side. Ear pads are pleather. They're not a high-grade quality protein leather or anything like that, it doesn't seem to me, but they're also not terribly cheap feeling, which could very easily happen with a headphone of this price. The headphones have folding features, so you can fold them like that. And it comes with a little carry bag, so the headphones can go right in a little carry bag. I did see on the web, both in HeadFi reviews and on Amazon reviews, that some people did find that these headphones were rather fragile and could easily be broken. The pictures show them breaking at the hinge point right here. One comment I would make is that it's very easy not to know which way to turn the headphone, and you might overstress it as you're trying to fold it up if you're not a little bit careful. Nonetheless, it did seem to be a little excessive to me. And the problem is I really can't tell, how reliable or how durable they really are, but it's worth making the comment. The sound quality of these headphones is just terrific. It has a fairly strong bass response. I would call these a bass head headphone to some extent. I mean, it's not, really strong bass, but it's elevated above what I would call neutral by a few dB, and what I would call neutral is elevated above flat by 3 or 4 dB. So there's a nice big solid bump in the bass, but it tapers off by about 200 hertz, so it doesn't bleed into the mid-range. It's also kind of astonishingly tight for a cheap on-ear headphone like this. So the bass response is great. The treble response is nice and even, really runs up properly up to the 3.5K hump on the raw frequency response. So this headphone's got good presence in its vocals, a nice balance in the vocals in the mid-range. Really nice in that regard. Once you're up above 3.5K, though, the treble stays just a little bit too elevated from 4 to 10K. And initially I was a little worried upon seeing the measurements, and then went back and listened some more and really found that I didn't find the treble too bright. I mean, it really isn't too bright. It's a little exciting, certainly, and with the emphasized bass response, these are a little bit V-shaped, exciting tuning on these headphones. What I did hear, though, was that the treble was slightly artificial sounding, kind of like crinkling cellophane that you get on a fruit basket or something like that. Just a little bit off in terms of its character, not as clean or transparent or refined or whatever that you get in a much better headphone, of course. But the overall balance and the overall treble response is quite nice, and it was not harsh or strident or those types of things, just a little artificial. So I found them very, very pleasant in that regard. I did compare them to a couple of other headphones of the same price and type. The Skullcandy Grind, which is about a $69 headphone, I felt was a little bit more dynamic, but I didn't find that its overall tonality was as good. It seemed to be a little rolled off on the top and didn't have quite the bass impact maybe that this one had. But they're close enough that I would suggest that if you're going to be using these headphones like a skateboarder would, throwing them in your backpack or sometimes having them fall off your head and that kind of stuff, I'd go for the Skullcandy Grind over this headphone. Even with a slight loss of sound quality, you're getting a lot of durability with the Skullcandy Grind, and that may be preferable. I also compared it to the Noontech Zorro 2 HD, which is also about the same price, although the MSRP is $99. You can commonly get them for about $59 or $69. The Noontech Zorro, on the whole, was a more neutral headphone, and I think if you're an audiophile, you'd probably be better served by the Noontech Zorro, which has a great sound to it, but it's not as hefty and beefy as these headphones are. So as an audiophile, you may prefer the Noontech Zorro for a low-cost alternative, but if you like your kick and bass, I'd still go with these, and just be careful with them. So at $59, I sure as heck recommend them. I don't have a good bass head, low-cost, entry-level headphone, so this baby's going to go up on the Wall of Fame as a real solid choice for that. And they're low enough cost that maybe you should just go out and pick up a pair. Give it to somebody you know. Give it to a kid you know. Just tell them not to break it. All right, so that's it for this time. I hope you get a chance to listen to the Beyerdynamic DT350M, and we'll see you next time.